Hi friends! Welcome to Wednesdays with Whitney. I'm Whitney and today I am joined by Terri Speirs, who is the head of marketing and development at the Des Moines Pastoral Counseling Center. Hi! So we are here today live at the Counseling Center, and I'm going to kick it over to Terri to talk about what is so special about the center, what happens here, who do we serve, just tell us all the things.
Sure. Thank you, Whitney.
Yes,
it's a pleasure to be here. So here at the Des Moines Pastoral Counseling Center, our mission is to bring understanding, hope, and healing to people of all ages through counseling and education. And so our key services include your traditional mental health counseling, the talk therapy. We also do psychological testing. We also do spiritual direction, and we also provide on-site psychiatry services.
And you do. I've been involved in a few things here at the center, so I've learned quite a bit. One of the things that you were doing mindfulness classes,
yes,
and just like for people looking to feel a little bit more centered, really get back to themselves. I think it's Allison Pete, correct?
That's right.
Who's leading. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I was very personally intrigued.
Yeah, we're so pleased. So I'll just back up a little bit. We have over 30 clinicians, and they're all multidisciplinary. They have various specialties. And with mindfulness, our mindfulness instructor is a qualified MBSR instructor, which is kind of the very high level.
What does that mean?
It's mindfulness-based stress reduction, and it's research-based. She was trained in Massachusetts, and she works in tandem with our counselors. So one of the biggest reasons that people come here, our biggest presentations are anxiety and depression, which can often be minimized, but what we say is they're serious, they're common, and they're treatable. And oftentimes a counselor might think that their client could benefit by having a mindfulness class or another
strategies class. You get kind of with talk therapy, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong because this is not my area of specialty, but you get to talk through the underlying things, but you still need to find those strategies in your daily life that encourage coping.
That's right. And what I've learned, I'm not a clinician either, I'm in marketing, but what I've learned is there are many strategies, and MBSR mindfulness is one of them. And the neat thing is that our clinicians work together for the greatest good and the greatest benefit of the client to determine what could be your treatment strategy, and that's one of them.
I love that. Well, and I know you have multilingual counselors as well, so you can serve a really wide demographic, and a lot of different people can feel comfortable here. I want to also talk about what's behind us. Can you tell us what we're sitting in front of?
Yes, I would love to. So I'm so pleased that we're able to do Wednesdays with Whitney this week in front of our paint wall.
And it's so cool. I want one.
Yeah, I know. We should all be able to come here. We do. This is primarily used for children and adolescents and their treatments, but adults use it too. And just back up a little bit to tell you what this is. So we have a specialized unit here at the center called COOL, and COOL is children overcoming the obstacles of life, but it's also a way to destigmatize counseling for children and teens who might think it's weird to go to counseling, but they literally do think it's cool to come here. And so this is one of our hallmark features of COOL.
I love it.
It is, so it's the funnest place to show people, and it's a way for children to express their inner life and their inner concerns without words. Sometimes they can take their pain, assign it to a color, and fling it on the wall.
Sounds good to me. I think we need to implement an adult wall here.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that's the next step. So another thing that I've learned too, so I joined the Women Helping Women committee, so that's kind of where we're going to culminate in a few minutes, because that's the coming up, you guys, on
May 17th.
May 17th. I'm the photographer for it. I know the date. I'll be there. But I joined the committee because there's not enough mental wellness facilities in the state of Iowa, in the nation. We're struggling in this capacity. And I thought it was just so important to join forces and see how I could participate. And through coming to the center and learning, so you guys have these during our committee meetings, they do a great job of teaching the committee members what the offerings here. So you guys have a mission moment, you have different counselors come in, and I was like, hey, I could do that. So I've actually been coming to the center for
great.
for counseling and just mental
That's
wellness
so great,
for the
Whitney.
past 8 weeks, maybe a little longer, whenever I joined the committee.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was coming and getting familiar, meeting some of the counselors, like finally finding, because I think the path to finding somebody seems so daunting, at least to me.
Yes.
And I'm someone that, like, I could just phone a friend and be like, so who'd you see? But that's not a phone call I necessarily really wanted to make. So
that's a big step. The first step
It
to
is.
ask for help and to reach out and make a scheduled appointment is a huge step.
When I think something that's really cool about this space and the way that you guys function is that it's a sliding scale of like what you pay based on your income. So you guys serve a huge wide range of population of those who can pay for the services comfortably and those who simply cannot.
That's
and then I think this is a great transition to Women Helping Women because this luncheon is what supports you being able to serve a population that otherwise couldn't afford mental wellness, the services for mental wellness. So tell me about Women Helping Women.
Yes.
What's happening?
Thank you.
Yes.
First of all, I just want to thank Whitney as one of our 30 awesome volunteer committee members who are helping us to put this on. It is, and there's just so much energy in that group and creativity, and we're so grateful. And a lot of passion to address the mental health crisis in a really positive, community-based way. So that's what Women Helping Women is about. It's our 21st year, if you can believe that. The reservations are open. I guess we'll get maybe into that in a bit.
We'll link it too so people can grab tickets
good.
and seats.
Very good. So this is one of our key ways that we engage the community as a way to educate about mental health and about our services, and also to fundraise so that we can offer services and we can offer subsidies for people who need it. And as Whitney said, the cool thing about here is a lot of people come here who don't need subsidies. They come here because the services are really good.
So you're providing, and I think a lot of times when I think about government subsidized programs, the impulse is to think that the services aren't going to be as good. It is not government, but the services might not be as good.
That's
but the fact that anyone and everyone is coming here.
That's right.
And I just think the equality of service is such a beautiful platform.
I think that's a great word to think about equality. And equality and access is what we strive for. So the same high level of treatment plans and treatment accesses, such as this wall, can be available to anybody in the community who needs them, regardless of what their income is and what their insurance is.
So I know that Gina Skinner-Thibault, who's a dear friend of mine, is going to be the honored speaker for this year, and I know she will be sharing a very personal, very difficult story. And she was on Wednesdays with Whitney about a year ago now. Gina started the Atwood Center for Women to honor her friend that took her own life, and I know that that's the story that she'll be sharing with us. And I haven't heard exactly what she'll be sharing, but I do know that we, as an audience, probably should come prepared.
I think so.
It could. I think it's going to highlight why the center is so important and why the services for the center are important, because I think that I don't know if we're more or less isolated. It's so interesting to talk about isolation and how the digital world is isolating us, or we're not, connecting. But I think that just opening up that conversation.
That's right.
Of like, how are we connecting meaningfully with one another?
That's right. I had the opportunity to get a preview, hear a preview of Gina's presentation, and it is so powerful. And as you said, she'll be talking about her experience with the loss as a result of suicide, and also for her, it connects to trauma. Yeah. And we know, statistically speaking, there'll be many people right now watching this who have experience in both of those areas. We know there'll be people in that room, so we're going to be really careful in how we talk about it and sensitive, but we also want to, and this is part of Gina's mission too, to let people know if it is something they want to talk about, that would be a healing process for them. There are ways to do it.
When I think watching somebody else have an open, honest conversation about something that is difficult, and at least for me, when I've watched that or modeled that, when I've watched it, it's given me the courage to talk about something, and when I've modeled that, I've heard that it gives other people the courage to lean into a thought, so, or lean into a space that they needed to do some healing. So if you haven't already, take a look at Women Helping Women and get a table, get a seat. It's going to be a great, Gina, if you haven't already heard, she's a very charismatic speaker, and I have no doubt that she's going to probably leave the room in tears, but it's going to be a really, really special, I think it's going to be a really special message that she is sharing with all of us. And I truly believe that there's just not enough support out there for people searching to make themselves better emotionally and mentally, and this is a place that's doing that. And I think that the more we can support places like this in the center, the better. So
can I mention our honoree
as
well?
Please.
Just a few words. We are also honoring, we like to every year honor a woman in the community who's made great contributions. And this year we're so pleased that we'll be honoring Susan Voss, who has been a leader in the community in so many ways, and including on the mental health front. She's served on our board, and she also has a personal loss that she'll be sharing by video. She'll be there in person, but we'll be sharing about why she's committed to mental health as well.
Excellent. Well, join us. I will tag how you can find all of this information, because I know accessibility is key. And I'll be shooting the event, so I'll be standing and roaming around, so you can come see us and see Gina and see the people who work to make the center possible. And I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you. Thank you
so much for joining
Thank you,
us
everybody.
today.
Appreciate it.
Bye.